Hey folks, welcome to your weekly video. So this week we're going to start writing our first essay one. We're writing about hip hop therapy. So last week we read about hip hop therapy, so you should understand what this concept is, what this practice is, right? It's using hip hop music in private therapy or with a school counselor or in a public health way to help address health outcomes. So that's it in a nutshell, right? So we had our reading on that hip hop therapy with high risk youth. We looked at reliable, credible sources last week. Our reading on hip hop therapy is really reliable, right? It was academically published, it was peer reviewed, which means it went through a lengthy editing process of fact checking. Peer review usually takes about a year, right? So if you publish something, don't expect it to be actually published until a year through the peer review process. So we did a discussion on all that last week. So this week, I'd like you to start writing the first paragraph for your first paper. The prompt for that appears at the top of this week, April 25th. So click on that. I'm asking for a 2 to 3 page paper where you're taking a hip hop song, right? So find a specific song, and you're going to use that song to make an argument, right? Do you think that this song can be used for hip hop therapy and why, right? Or if you disagree with hip hop therapy, you could be like, no, maybe, right? You can argue against it. You'd be like, here's a song, here's why it wouldn't work, right? So you can agree, you can disagree, you can both agree and disagree. But you need to pick a specific artist and a song that you're analyzing. So the prompt goes through that, right? You're making an original argument about including a specific artist or song to be considered for a hip hop therapy program, whether in the schools, a public health campaign, or for use in a private sort of therapeutical setting, right? Or another setting. So, right, be really specific. Don't just say, we can use hip hop therapy, right? It's not anybody that uses this. It's often a school counselor or a therapist, right? It's used in a very specific way. So be really narrow, not general. So, right, name that. Is it a school counselor, right? What kind of school? Public, private, K through 6, 8 through 12, college, right? Is this a college counseling right? So be really specific about, okay, I think this song could be used in this setting. And if it's, a more controversial song or lyrics, that have a lot of controversial words, I don't think that's going to be used in a K through 6 public school setting. That could be more of a private therapy or maybe college, right? So I give a lot of examples. I like, uh, I'm suddenly blanking. I would do, if I was writing this, I love, Childish Gambino. He has a song this summer. It's all about climate change. And I know that a lot of young folks like me have stress and anxiety around climate change. It's a thing. It's called climate change anxiety. So I think listening to this song in a school setting, right, this Childish Gambino song about climate change, I think it would be a great way to address this climate change anxiety. So I would write about that. I've got my song, right? I would talk about how this is hip hop therapy. So be really specific like that. Okay, so that's the prompt. So just go through that at your leisure. And the homework I'm asking you to do this week is just to start writing this, right? I want one paragraph posted here. And I want you to write, it's called a pie paragraph. You'll see what I mean. I give a bunch of examples here. You have a point, you have information, which is the quote, and then you explain the quote. So take a look at what I mean by a pie paragraph. There's also links. There's more links out if you need it. But essentially, you should have a topic sentence that makes a point about how your song that you've chosen relates or can be used for hip hop therapy, right? That's your point. Then you want to give a quote either from our article on hip hop therapy and or from a song. And then you want to explain, okay, how does this all fit together? What's the significance? Why do I think this song, should or should not be used, right? So feel free to argue any which way. Okay, so, and again, you have a great example of what a pie paragraph looks like. And I'd also like you to, if you have any questions about the essay prompt, right, please ask that so I can answer it. And I'd like you to also respond to a classmate's paragraph, right? What struck you? What stands out to you? But make sure you also respond to another post. Okay, that is essentially the work for this week. And also I give you an example, this thematic analysis of hip hop music. This is an author who is quoting and citing hip hop music and writing about hip hop music. So you can see as an example, well, how do you write about music, right? How do you quote music? Here it is. You have a great example, and I also give you another example. So I can't wait to see what you guys write. So waiting, so curious. Take your time. You've got this whole week. Email me if you have any questions. Thanks, folks.